Welcome to the Garden Dirt. This is episode 7. We have a super special guest today. He comes all the way from the nursery department, Luke McCoy.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me on the Garden Dirt.
Yes. We're super excited to have Luke here from the nursery. He started actually this season. So when we say this season, that means the spring. So in late April you started?
April of 2025.
Nice. How you been liking it so far?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love working with you guys, with all the people there, all the people coming through the doors. Yeah, it's great. So.
And Luke is like kind of famous. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people watching will know him because we have people come in all the time. They're like, Luke McCoy works here. Oh my gosh, Luke. And like everybody always knows Luke. He's already famous, but now that he's on our podcast, we're going to have to get you an agent.
Hopefully we can hold on to him since he's going to be so famous.
Yeah, he's going to be blown up.
I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we can...
funny. That's kind. But I love when my friends do come through and I get to sell them trees. That's a joy for me.
Well, even when we were in the Fall into Marion parade, he was on the float and everybody was like, Luke.
We did have one person yell for your brother.
That's right.
Yeah. He apparently looks like his brother. Right?
Yeah. We all three live in the same town, and so it happens often.
Okay, so. I didn't know there was a third brother.
Yep, I'm the middle of 3.
Oh, okay. I'm a middle child, too.
Hey, no kidding.
Yes.
So we always feel left out there.
Thank you!
I was the youngest, so...
Yeah, Jordan's the youngest, but...
How did you come about working at Culver's? I know a lot of people go different directions, but why did you decide to apply, and then what's kept you around?
Yeah, well, I heard that a guy named Jordan was working at...
Right.
No, you guys had open interviews, and I saw the first 2 days had already passed, and I was thinking about the third one, and my wife was like, you should try that. You should. So I came out and talked to a few of you, and then you're like, you guys got to talk to Jordan. So I came back and interviewed with you, and we talked about a lot of things, but I love being outside. I've always enjoyed the outdoors, and so to have a job that is outdoors it's pretty sweet. So,
yeah, awesome. What are I guess some things in the past that might have led you to wanting this job? Like, do you have other experience with like did you grow up on a farm? Did you ever do any, or is this just totally different from things you've done in the past?
I've had hobbies that have got me out in the woods a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like.
So you just like being around trees?
I do. Yeah. And I think some of the greatest experiences and conversations I've had with people are outside as well.
Yeah.
So because it's like when you're doing something, like if you're splitting wood, or if you're going hunting, or if you're going fishing or camping, those are experiences outside that you're doing along with somebody.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love those opportunities.
I don't know, did you have a bunch of knowledge in different tree areas when you started, or were you kind of learning on the job? Because some people think you have to have the knowledge just to come in and do it. But I think you're one that came in and learned as you were going and have taken off.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you've learned a lot, if you think you've learned a lot this summer.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You can only say, I don't know so many times until you have to learn it.
Yes.
And that was me, because as soon as April got here in May, it's I'm not sure, but I'll figure that out. Or I'll find someone that knows. And then I would follow people around like you or any of the guys, like Jim.
Just be a sponge.
Exactly.
Soak it all up.
Yep. If you can get a hold of Bob or Sharon and follow them around,
Yeah.
I'll just listen to what they're saying and then try to learn it as much as I can. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I also wanted to talk about planting fall color in the landscape. We've talked a lot the last few episodes about fall planting, how it's still a really great time to plant. Great soil temperatures, great weather, no heat shock. So what are some things, I guess, that you guys recommend, both coming from the nursery? What are some of your favorite things that provide fall color that people could still maybe plant yet this year, or if they're not able to plant this season, maybe plant next spring to get some beautiful fall color?
I guess I'd start, obviously, everybody's going to say maple trees. You can get great fall color. But if you're looking for more of a shrub that you can get fall color, there's a lot of good ones. White Julia is a big one. It's a midnight sun that we've had. We kind of sold out pretty quick, but they turn a nice fall color. Burning bushes are incredible. They turn like a fire red, which is very nice. I'm trying to think. Some lilacs will change to like a purplish leaf. So there's a lot of different colors. I mean, you can go on and on. A lot of different trees have different fall color. So
I was even thinking of your hydrangea, the jet leaf. Is that going to turn as well? The oak leaf hydrangea, does that turn red?
I'm not super familiar. I know some hydrangeas will. It just kind of depends because there was the eclipse. I think will change a little bit in color, but as far as like a straight hydrangea, I think most of them kind of stay that green. It's the bloom that you kind of get the color with. But there are, I'm just trying to think some other stuff that will change. Oh, new this year, a little sparkler spirea.
Okay.
They will change and have really nice fall color. So there's a lot of different things when you're picking out plants too. It's just not the bloom color. You got to think of fall color because you don't necessarily think that far ahead, but it will eventually be a focal point in your yard in the falls.
I've been enjoying driving around your B&Bs and just seeing like what colors are turning right now too. Because you can get like a diversity in color in your yard in the fall as well.
Well, that's the thing. You can come out and literally see what they're going to look like because now is the perfect time to see them.
Right.
But I wanted to go back to the eclipse hydrangea really quick that you had mentioned. So we're getting more in next year, right? And
of course. Yeah.
This is our first year with them, I believe. And so
second year.
So we made a video on TikTok about the eclipse hydrangea this summer, and it just blew up. Like, not a lot of people are very familiar with it or know anything about it. So it has a very, very dark leaf, like almost black leaf.
There's actually another hydrangea coming out next year. Hopefully we can get our hands on it. And it's going to actually be like a black leaf hydrangea.
Oh, really?
Is what
I'm being darker than the eclipse?
Yeah, is what I'm being told by a couple growers, or one grower that's going to grow it. I'm curious to see what it actually looks like, if it's similar to the eclipse. But that one's coming out, so hopefully we'll get it. There's not very many that they have grown this year, so it's probably going to be more 2 years out. But if we do get them, we'll post them and let people see, but they'll probably go pretty quick.
Yeah, and the eclipse hydrangea has a really vibrant pink bloom, and then it just contrasts well next to the really dark purple, blackish leaf. They might even make an appearance in the 2026 calendar. I've been keeping the photos a secret this year, but 2026 calendar comes out at our holiday open house in November, and that's always like a huge deal for everybody who shops at Culver's regularly. We have coupons in the back and everything. But anyways, might have a picture of that on there. So
yeah, and I believe the new hydrangea that's coming out will be a red bloom, if I remember correctly.
Cool.
More of a red. So yeah, this is an exciting time of the year where a lot of vendors come in and we'll go through what the new stuff is for next year. So there's a new viburnum coming out called the Opening Day Viburnum. So that's going to have really nice fall color. We will have some in the spring at least, hopefully throughout the year, but definitely in the spring, and it'll have that baseball size white bloom and then have really nice fall color. So that's another one to look forward to.
Nice. What are some of your favorite fall color trees and shrubs?
I like oak trees, and I've been enjoying just seeing all the oaks that you guys have here. So like the bur oaks, they're staying really yellow. You've got a couple chinkapins still that turn nice and red. Of course, all your red oaks as well. There's a white oak, there's a swamp white oak, and everyone are just kind of distinct in their colors, even in the oak tree alone. And so that's been kind of fun to see.
I am absolutely shocked that Jordan hasn't brought up the ginkgo tree.
Well, the ginkgo trees, I think we talked about it last time, but
we did. But
the fall color is crazy. I don't know why that's not going into the calendar with our own ginkgo tree at home.
I could go home tonight and take a picture.
But that one, it's finally, we talked about it last time, it's taken 4 years to actually get our fall color on the ginkgo tree. Whoa. Just because it takes, they're slow
growers
and to get established.
To adapt to their environment, so that color doesn't really pop until you're like 3 or 4.
And it's just like a really vibrant yellow, is that right?
Yeah, it's like a gold. It's like a gold.
It's really, really pretty. Like, I looked out the window because I can see it from our kitchen window, and I was like, whoa. Like, one day it just all had changed, and it was so quick, and it's just beautiful.
And there was years of Katie being like, oh, that doesn't have great fall color.
I was so mad about it.
I can't believe we planted that.
I swore that this was going to be the best tree ever, and it just was a letdown, but
patience is key, and she doesn't have much of it.
I said it last time, but if you have a ginkgo tree, just wait. It's going to pop off eventually.
Nice.
Our saying, just with anything, with like trees, shrubs, perennials, is normally first year it sleeps, second year it creeps, third year it leaps. So just have patience. If you're not always impressed by your plants right away, just have patience. It's worth it.
Yeah, so with this being your first year in the nursery department, people come in all the time and ask for trees for different things. Is there a variety of customers wanting to plant trees for different reasons, and what are those some of those reasons? I know I've heard a few that they'll make you laugh when they come in and they're like, well, I just want to block my neighbor because I don't like him, or I just don't want to see them anymore. Is there any other ones that have stuck out this year that has been kind of a trend that you've heard?
Yeah, I mean, so everyone has a unique experience, right, as they come into the nursery. It's been interesting to see how many people are like celebrating or mourning something. So like there was a grandma and grandpa that came in and they were planting their 14th tree for each of their 14 grandkids. So after they had one grandkid,
wow.
they planted a tree, and this was their 14th, and they got that from you guys, and they did.
So they did it like every time one was born.
Exactly.
So it's the same age as them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yep.
That is cool.
So they drove like 2 hours down here to get the tree for their 14th grandkid.
Aww.
And they've all made it. Sorry, hit your mic there. They've all made it, and they're doing really good. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. And I guess I've heard of mourning, obviously, a memorial tree, but I've never heard of someone planting for somebody being born, which is a great idea, because then maybe by the time they're old enough in their teen years, or they might be able to climb it. Yeah. So that'd be
that's true.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
And they even talk about how their grandkids will come and they'll be, hey, that's my tree. So they picture them like growing up and climbing it or putting a swing in it, or their kids coming and seeing it. And
that's
I just thought
a really good idea.
Really cool to look into the future that far and plant a tree for your kids.
Well, even looking at it too, you could take pictures by it every year, like the growth of the kid to the tree. It would be a funny picture when they get to, I don't know, 20 and the tree's towering over them. That'd be a pretty good picture too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget how much meaning trees can have to people until you like work in the nursery and you get to hear all these stories and work with so many different people, because people come in and they're either mourning and they want to plant a tree in celebration of somebody's life, or like you said, for each kid. And it's just really cool when there's stories behind the trees too, and it's not just I want to block a neighbor. I mean, we all do that too. I do that too, but
there's a few of those stories.
But it's fun.
And I mean, you even look, I've had in years past hunters coming in wanting oak trees, your favorite, to attract deer, or food plots.
Fruit trees.
A lot of fruit trees get sold for, not even if they're hunting, just they want to see deer on their property. And I've heard quite a few people for fruit trees this year for that. So
somebody wrote in for our Getting to the Root of It segment. One of the questions was what trees are good for attracting deer. So you kind of just answered that. So cool. We can skip that later down the road. But
they do want to attract deer for sure for hunting purposes, but a lot of that is actually to provide a balanced diet for those. They actually care about their deer herd too. They want them to be healthy and have everything they possibly need to make it through the winters and get back into spring. And so,
is that like in terms of the fruit trees, or what do you mean?
All the above, yeah.
So like, how do oak trees help them be healthy?
So oak trees would have acorns. So like right now in the fall, they're going to go from ag fields to the acorns as well, and they're going to get a balanced diet to go into the rut to reproduce, to have more. Where then the spring is more about the greens and then the grains, and so it's a deer is going to find what is palatable and what it needs in its body, and so the landowner or manager can actually help provide that for him.
Okay, you know way more about deer than I do.
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting point too, because I would never have thought, an oak tree is going to help sustain deer life in Iowa if you plant them. So that's definitely.
And if you're a manager and you want to plant oak trees on your property, then you keep the deer there. That's your goal, is to keep them closer to home, so then you can actually protect them, or if one's getting to old age and you decide to harvest it too. So
gotcha. Interesting.
But on the flip side of that, you make sure you got to put a fence or something around your trees, because
you don't want the deer to.
Well, not that they're going to eat the tree, but if they rub on the tree, that could also harm the tree and then not give them acorns. So.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people in the city that come out, and that's one of the first questions we'll ask them: are there deer around? Are there urban deer around? How can we protect that too?
Because also arborvitae are one that attract deer because they like to eat. So you're saying that they're more likely to eat that in the spring than in the fall.
Well, that's going to be, late spring, early summer. So when they're starting to think about having their little ones, they're going to need that in their diet as well. So
Well, that'll help with...
Or the dead middle of winter when they can't find any food source, they're going to go find some of those evergreens as well.
There you go. So junipers would be a good choice if you don't want deer to eat your trees.
There we go. You don't want to provide a deer dessert.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on fall bulbs. We call them fall bulbs. Some people call them spring bulbs because they're spring blooming bulbs. We have them in the garden center right now, and the weather has been super warm for so long, like abnormally warm. So people haven't really been kind of like in the bulb mood or mindset. But now is a really great time to get your bulbs. You need it to be consistently under 60 degrees. So it needs to be cool, but also you don't want the ground frozen. They need 4 to 6 weeks to get their roots established before the hard freeze. And then I will have Sharon on sometime to talk about bulbs more specifically, or we'll post a video on our TikTok or something, because I don't know all of the details about bulbs, but I did just want to point out, when you plant a bulb, you need to have the pointy side up. A lot of people, I don't know if it's just like instinct or natural to just think that the pointing side needs to go down, but that's where the bulb shoots from. So you need to have the bulb in the ground with the pointy side up, and then that is where they will shoot out of. I was also going to say, recommend layering your bulbs, maybe getting some that need to go deeper, some that need to go a little higher, and then also not planting them exactly in a straight line, because a lot of people will do that because they want like a row of tulips or a row of daffodils, but then they don't all come up, or the straight line doesn't really work as well as you think. You want to kind of do like multiple
clumps.
Layers. Yeah, like clumps and multiple layers of the straight lines. There's also like the lasagna layering technique.
Yeah. Well, we might be able to do a video on Tuesday, the day after this comes out, because Sharon is going to teach Luke and anybody else who wants to learn how to plant some bulbs, because we are actually going to plant some allium globe master.
Okay.
So those are the allium that are going to get the big ball on them for the bloom. We're gonna plant some of those around the property, just to give us some.
So she's gonna do a little class for people who aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, because the nursery staff's gonna plant them,
Gotcha.
but she'll be here on Tuesday to kind of walk them through how to plant them, and so we do it right. So then we do get that in the spring, and people can see kind of, because I think it'll be good. Even I don't think a lot of people know about how to plant bulbs or what bulbs are even like.
And I think bulbs are really intimidating because they seem to be like, if you do bulbs, you know bulbs, and that's it. Like, I think they're intimidating to start. So like, I had somebody last year, it was her first time doing bulbs, and she was like so nervous, and she was like, well, maybe I should just not, but they're so easy. I need to just start doing them
and
in my house.
They do come back every year.
They're saying, and we use in like all of our advertising marketing, is dig, drop, done. And that is literally because you literally just dig in the soil, drop the bulb in to the correct height with the pointy side up, and then you just cover it with dirt, and in the spring it's blooming. And so it's absolutely, and then also planting maybe with like different time frames. We talk about planting for different bloom times when you plant perennials and things. So think of that too when you're planting bulbs. If you're doing clusters, or if you want bulbs to bloom at different times, just kind of think of that when you're planting together. A lot of people ask about in the spring when the blooms die off and they start to turn a little yellow. The stems start to turn a little yellow. Don't just cut those off right away. You need to let them cut the blooms off so that the energy of the plant, or so the plant focuses all of its energy into the actual bulb for the following year instead of focusing its energy into the dead bloom. So cut the bloom off, but then leave the yellowish foliage until the end of the season, as in like fall. What else I was going to say, not to just be like the bulb queen right now, but you need to get your bulbs right now, because a lot of people wait until the weather is cool enough to plant, and then they come in and all the bulbs that they wanted are already purchased and bought up, and we're sold out of them. So get them now, store them in a cool, dark, dry place, and they'll be fine when you're ready to plant.
There you go.
Invest in your spring happiness now.
That's the bulb. We'll just change the name.
That made no sense.
What's the bulb? That's what it was.
That also makes no sense.
Change the bulb.
Anyways.
Who's the bulb? We know that the oak tree is your favorite.
Yeah, I do love oak trees, yes.
Give a couple more that you've noticed or just kind of didn't know about until you started working here, and that you've really either, I feel like everybody in the nursery has one plant they like to sell. Just someone comes in, you have to show them it, even if they don't like it. And mine is a ginkgo tree or a fire chief arb.
Yes.
And I always go, you either love or hate a fire chief arb. So what's kind of that one that you kind of show people where it's hit or miss, or just one that's your favorite?
Yeah, there's been a few surprises. The black gum tree, prairie fire. That's a
Wildfire.
Wildfire.
I always say that.
Prairie
wrong.
fire crab.
Nice.
Crab apple.
Thank you. That's exactly. See, hey.
You like both of them.
He's so nice.
I do. Oh, but you know your trees. Good job.
I do kind of know. I've learned some things over the years.
That one's been a surprise for sure. I really like that one. The purple robe locust.
That one's a cool one. Not a lot of people know about it.
Everyone's been talking about it lately on the radio.
Well, because it's the closest. I know we talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it with Bob, but there's some in like Florida, more tropical, that kind of looks like it, but it does get a purple bloom, which is really it's a really beautiful bloom.
Pretty.
And again, not many people have it, so we will get some more in next year, but I think we're out, I would assume, by
I
now.
think we just sold the last one.
Yeah, so that one's a really good one. But
and even service berries have been a surprise to me, but especially with the fall colors. That like yellow-orange color right now, I think they're really pretty.
Yeah, some people get turned away from the berry, but I've learned that the berries, a lot of the birds take off. I don't think you have as many in your yard as some people would assume. There is a new crabapple coming out next year, so the spring snow is the one without any fruiting on it. There's one that's going to come out that's pink, that is supposedly the spring snow of a pink one. It still does get fruit, but it's so minimal. The grower said that you can't even you don't notice. So if you're looking for a pink crabapple that doesn't have fruit, there's going to be one coming out next year. So
that's cool.
We will have it. I think we have 10 on order.
So we get to plant one?
I would be open to trying one.
I every single year ask for a pink crabapple tree, and he never wants to plant it because of the fruit in our dog and stuff. But if there's a pink one coming out without fruit, you know I'm getting it.
Yeah, I think
and
that...
you know I'm making Jordan plant it.
Yeah, I think we got to figure out a space for it. But
yeah, that's our issue, is we're really running low on space.
That's funny when couples come into the nursery and one will be like, oh, I love this tree. The other one's like, where are we going to plant it? And
not even where are we going to plant it. Sometimes you get like the fire chief between us. I love it. She hates it. So, of course, we don't
hate it. It's just if I was choosing for my yard, like, I don't want it with our plants. Like, it doesn't go with our style right now outside. Yeah. But Jordan loves it.
So of course we don't have one.
So we didn't plant it. You planted one at a friend's house though, so you're fine.
Yeah.
So you could plant it next to the crabapple in the spring. Yeah. That's actually one of the joys of working in the nursery, is you get to navigate all those conversations and try to help people find something. And when you do, and you find something they both are really, really happy with,
that makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's awesome. So or just an individual that comes in, they're wanting to find something. If you can help problem solve this side of their home, this shade, this color, and they're happy with it, and that's very rewarding. So
yeah,
and working here for a while, some people will come back and show you pictures of.
I love that, by the way.
It's great. You can also send them into the podcast too, and maybe
or just send them to our normal like Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You can just direct message us. I always tell guests at the checkout when they're super excited about something, I'm like, send us pictures. I love to see pictures, even if whether it's right away, if it's in 2 years, like when it's fully grown. Like, I love to see things. So
yeah, and that's very genuine. If you're listening to this podcast and we've told you that, like, we mean that.
Like, we genuinely love. We like walk around and brag like, I sold this tree like a year ago, and look at it now.
And also like we were saying, we don't have a lot of room in our yard, so we may really like a plant, but we've never seen it in someone's yard, like, because we don't have room to plant it. So when you bring it back, it's kind of like,
bring a picture.
Yeah, bring a picture, not bring the tree back. When you bring the plant back, it's like, oh, that looks really good, and then it gives you like the confidence to recommend it to somebody else, especially if it's a newer shrub, like even the Eclipse hydrangea. I've had a couple people bring pictures back and be like, this is how it's doing really well. So
well, and that's where a lot of our recommendations come from, is trial and error, whether it's in our own yards, whether it's what we hear from customers. We're like, oh, a lot of people this summer have been having issues with deer with this, so maybe let's look at this. Or like, we don't just like make these things up. It's knowledge that we've accumulated from like personal experiences, customer experiences. So we love when people share with us.
Yeah, a lot of growers will give their kind of, because they go around to a bunch of nurseries, so they'll come in and kind of give what they've heard the trends are to try to help our business too make the right decisions in ordering for spring.
Yeah, to see it actually express itself out of the pot in someone's real life world. There was 2 people that bought fruit cocktail trees from us this spring, and I said, please come back next year and tell us. So if you're listening, give us a picture. We want to know how the fruit cocktail trees are doing.
Well, you got to give it 2 to 3 years though for fruit.
Okay,
so
there you go.
You're not going to get a full fruit
so in 2
on
to
the
3
first
years,
year.
bring us the fruit.
Yeah, bring us a pie or jam. We will take it.
Explain what the fruit cocktail is.
Well, there was like 4 or 5 different fruits grafted into the same tree.
Yeah,
yeah, super cool.
Yeah,
and touching on that, the fruit trees, there's a couple 3-in-1 apples, 5-in-1 apples, which is a great option for someone that doesn't necessarily have room for 2 fruit trees. So we sell a lot of those too, because you only have to have one and it'll pollinate itself. So
totally cool.
So we need to get into our next segment called What's the Dirt? We kind of skipped over getting to the root of it because one of the questions was about planting bulbs. Can you still plant bulbs in October? Yes, that's actually the ideal time towards the end of October when it's consistently less than 60 degrees. And then the other one was about what trees attract deer. And you guys talked about the oaks and the fruit trees. So we will just jump into our next segment, What's the Dirt? So Luke, I'm just going to read you the description straight from our website because that explains it best what it is. But if you haven't submitted a story or anything, you can go to our website and submit a story for us to share. So it's called What's the Dirt? This is where we share funny, messy, and sometimes unbelievable stories from the landscaping and gardening world. It could be a DIY disaster, a hilarious moment from a job site, or even some insider scoop from the green industry. If you've got a tale to tell, send it our way. The good, the bad, and the muddy.
That's clever.
So you can think on it because I kind of sprung it on you. If you don't have any stories right now, I do have some customer submissions. Well, I don't know if they're customers of ours. They submitted them through, I think some of them were from TikTok, so I don't know if they're in other states or not. But I do have some to share. So
I've thought of one over the last week too, so I can.
Do you want to start then, and then I'll share a guest one?
Sure, I can throw it in. So it's loading. So we load rock, mulch, dirt, all sorts of things. And the funny part is people will come in with all sorts of vehicles. We usually try not to load into vans or anything like that, but someone came in with a restored 75 Ford Bronco and had me dump mulch into the back of this Ford Bronco, brand new, like fresh. Whoa. And he goes, oh, it'll be fine, I'll just vacuum it out. So I put a yard of mulch into that small trunk of a Ford Bronco. So that was goodness. And then I was like, are you sure? Like it took me 20 minutes to actually do it because I'm like,
how to damage it.
Yeah, and it was open, so it wasn't like I was gonna hit anything, but just I don't know how he got the mulch out.
Haven't shared this with them because I wanted their live reactions. I have a few today. So I was installing, I think this is somebody who works with irrigation. But so I was installing a brand new sprinkler system for a client who swore they knew exactly where all of their old lines were. Famous last words, I guess. I started digging, hit what I thought was a root, and then the next second I was in front of Old Faithful. I'm standing there drenched, covered in mud, and my client comes running out yelling, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. We both stood there watching the geyser shooting like 15 feet up into the air in the backyard water park. The neighbor's dog was having the time of its life, running over and playing in it, and the client was apologizing to me but also laughing. On the invoice, I just added free shower.
Nice.
That is funny. I've heard a couple times planting trees. There's a chance they can.
Does the water ever like shoot up though? Like normally when you hit a line, I thought it didn't like.
It depends what line. If so, I'm guessing they hit the main line because.
Apparently that'd be a bad one to forget about, I guess.
Well, so the other lines, if I understand correctly, because I've hit a few in my day, they only have water in them when the the sprinklers are actually running, but the main line will have water pressure because if you ever turn them on, it has to go to all of them. So it sits in the control where they all shoot out. So yeah, hitting the main line, you got to shut off your water or it's just going to keep going.
Yeah, it was just like flooding, it sounds like.
Good slip and slide though.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because literally this one, I was going to ask you how realistic this is. Not to say that they were exaggerating by any means, but to me it just is like so like movie worthy that I just question it sometimes. So because I've never like laid sod or anything other than like at our own house, but
okay.
Says this wasn't at Culver's, this was I don't know where it was, but another landscaper somewhere said we were laying fresh sod when a surprise downpour hit, and they were on a gentle slope. And then it kind of turned everything into a slip and slide. So, like, the sod was sliding down and somebody tried to go and catch it before it floated off. And they ended up, like, riding the sod piece down like a slip and slide on the hill.
I could see it. If it's steep enough and it's wet enough, I'm sure...
So it's like sledding, but like on a sod piece.
I'm sure you can run down, like if it's a wet, muddy hill and you run and slide, you'll slide down the hill on your just shoes. So I'd assume that could happen. I've heard of us putting stakes in the grass before so it doesn't slide down the hill.
It must have been like really downpouring.
Yeah.
Because my thought is like if you have the weight on the side, it would stop from sliding or something.
But it's going to be a new Summer Olympic game called sledding.
Right.
But if both the sod and the ground are both sopping wet, they're both going to be slippery. So I think it's a possibility. I don't know if.
Yeah. So I have one more. Also, I really appreciate everybody actually submitting stuff this week because every other week it's just been us like trying to come up with stories. So we actually have submissions. It's probably because I made a new TikTok page.
There you go.
To promote it. So this one is, I also don't know how I would react to this. Okay. I had a client ask for dark mulch, so I brought a truckload of rich black mulch and got to work. Then halfway through the job, they came running out and said that they meant dark brown mulch, not black. So I went back and got brown because I didn't want to start over and ended up mixing the rest of the brown mulch just to make it look intentional, like mixing the brown and the black. They ended up liking it, but I'm sorry. If that were me, first of all, you should probably confirm. This was not at Culver's, by the way, but you should probably confirm before you go. Like, when you say dark, does that mean black or dark brown? But I'm like, do people do that? Mix the mulch?
Yeah, I was talking about that. We've had clients come in and mix the gold and red, and they lay it like that on purpose. It's a
brindled approach.
They like the contrasting colors.
I've never seen that.
There was one customer that used to do it all the time. They would mix red and gold mulch and put it in their yard.
That's just crazy. Like, because then my thought is, and maybe they did ask. It didn't say if they asked or not, like if the customer just wanted them to mix brown or not. But to me, the way I read it was they just went back to the shop and just decided to get the brown and mix it in instead of like, because they didn't.
It sounds like it was an accident that they mixed it in.
No, they said that they started to lay half of it black, and then the customer was like, oh no, when I said dark, I meant brown, dark brown, not black. So then they went back to the shop and got brown, and then they mixed it in with the black.
I would probably say you probably just want to pull that black mulch back out.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's what we would do.
That's what we would do.
The customer says, well, it's fine, just mix it. But they didn't say that. So I don't know.
Maybe that's what you meant by the lasagna technique.
That's what I meant. It's just layer it.
Yeah, like you got to have the cheese first and then go with the sauce. And
exactly.
The brown was just the sauce. It was fine.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing. So maybe it's not as bad as I was thinking. But when I read that, I was like,
I don't think I would like it. If I have one color mulch, I probably just want one color. So it
wouldn't be my preference.
It wouldn't be my preference, but people like different things. That's why there's multiple varieties of everything.
Well, those are all the stories I have from submissions this week. Do you have any funny stories you want to share?
None that I can think of right now. Remind me how you submit something again.
So on the website, we have it on our culversgarden.com. It's under About Us and then Blogs and Podcasts. And we have the podcast link to all of the episodes and then the form submission for both the Getting to the Root of It, where you can ask us any question to answer, and then also What's the Dirt, where you can share like a funny story or just something you're excited about in the gardening world or just anything. Nice. So you can go back and
trying to think of a funny story from this year, and I can't.
I mean, it's
that are
been a fun
appropriate for
year.
That are appropriate for the podcast.
That's the issue. Every
I just
single
don't
time
know.
Is nobody knows what's appropriate to share. So.
I mean, not that anything inappropriate happens.
No, never.
It's all sorts
never.
of fun.
Never,
Oh.
but I mean,
Not necessarily inappropriate, but like
just things that,
things we don't really want to share on the internet that happened to us.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Like-
okay.
I don't know. When I first started the nursery, my first year, I apparently didn't learn that if you put a rake either way and step on it, it will hit you in
Oh
the face.
yeah, Jordan had a major.
So I set
repeat.
it down like with the points down because I was like, oh, if I step on it, it's still not going to fling back up. I was wrong. I got a black eye.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah, it came up quick.
Wait, it was the spikes down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
that
thought
would
it.
surprise me too.
Well, it was like a flat edge on the back, and then the spikes. I was like, oh, it won't.
I would just dig
So you
in.
To be-
accidentally stepped on it?
No, I was trying to catch it instead of bending over to grab it. But
Oh, so you're being lazy.
yeah,
You're
well,
pretty cool.
I was trying to, yeah.
He needs a positive spin for everything.
Katie probably was walking by. I was trying to impress her as a
Oh my.
junior in high school. I was
so
like,
funny.
watch this, and then it just drilled me right in the face.
No, I remember Kristen, the nursery manager at the time, came in just dying laughing because I didn't see it.
It happened twice.
And she was like,
I didn't learn the first time. It happened again.
she was laughing so hard, and she's like, Katie, your boyfriend just had the biggest like Three Stooges moment. And I'm like, what? And she like said he stepped on it. So she saw it. He stepped on the
yeah.
rake and it hit him in the head.
Everybody saw it. It was like no plants were out yet. We were top dressing the beds, and I just
Yeah.
it
That's
happens.
hilarious.
Yeah, well, that's all for today. So thank you so much for joining us, Luke. We'll have to have you on again sometime.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having me. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's been great, and that's the dirt.